everyone, I'm Bonnie from Really Reasonable Ribbon and Make Time to Craft, and I'm swinging in today with a quick tutorial on the distress ink papers that I've been making because I've been getting a lot of questions on the papers. You can see in this card I've used distress ink paper for the greens and the red in the poinsettia. And on this one, I've used it on some of the layers in the poinsettias. The dies on these cards are from Cherry Lynn Designs, and the digital stamps and the digital papers on this card are from Graciele Design. Also, the ribbons that I've used on these all came from the October Ribbon Club assortment from Really Reasonable Ribbon. This assortment is going to be available through the end of November, so if you want to enroll and get it, you got to move fast. This assortment has 9 styles and 17 yards of ribbon and trim. It's a great way to build your ribbon stash and try new ribbon styles. So I'll put these aside, and this is the paper that I'm gonna share with you today. I also have a green one, which on this card is the leaves underneath the poinsettias. For the green, I used bundled sage, mowed lawn, and pine needles distress ink, and it's made the same way that we're gonna do the red with. So I have spun sugar, festive berries, and Bayard brick distress ink pads, and I am working on a tonic easy clean mat. I love this mat because it's white. The only thing I don't necessarily care for is that it's only 14 by 14 inches. I would like a little bigger mat, especially when I'm doing the inks. So if you're paying attention, Tonic Studio, if you make me a 16 by 20, I'll buy another one. Promise. I also have a spritzer and a heat tool, and I just work on regular old cheap white cardstock, and I don't seem to have too much trouble. You know, it's not perfectly flat, but by the time if you're going to die cut, by the time you run it through the die cutting machine, it's going to be flat. And if you're using it for a background, by the time you tape it down, no one will ever know. So when I'm doing a monochromatic, like all red, green, whatever, I try to use 2 or 3. You can also do it with 1 by just layering and going from light to dark. But today we're going to do the 3. So I always start with the lightest color because these are translucent. So if you started with the dark and covered the paper, you're done. So we're starting with the spun sugar. And I just lay some down on my mat and spritz it with water. This is kind of going to be the base coat just to cover the white in my mind. It's that way there'll be no white showing through. So I just lay it down once and we're going to dry. And I'm basically just going to keep layering and picking up some ink and drying. And I am going to try when I edit this to speed up through the drying process. Okay, so now we've got the base pink, which honestly is pretty in itself. If you're looking for like a marbled pink color, you're done. But we're going for red, so we're going to continue festive berries next. And because I don't want necessarily as much, I'm using the side of the pad now, and I'm just putting down some color. And I'm going to spritz. And you can either use your finger for this, or I started using a Q-tip because my fingers get messy enough as it is. I don't need to be digging them all the way into the ink. So I'm just kind of moving this around, and partly just because I don't want full coverage, and also this will give some nice like watermark looks that I kind of like. just going to keep picking up color. Since I'm going for a darker look for this paper, because I'm using it to make poinsettias, I am going to lay this color on pretty thick. And I'm going to do another, at least one more layer of this color because I want to get more coverage. Mix it with my Q-tip. And I'm going to shoot to try to cover some of the whiter parts first. And we're just going to keep layering. And another good thing about the Q-tip is if you have stubborn parts that aren't getting caught, you can go in with the Q-tip where you needed as you're going and fill in the whiter spots. I'm going to do one more with this color. Try to get those lighter spots first. Get some color on there. I'm just grabbing up the last of the ink here before we move on to the next color. See, I don't mind some lighter colors in there. It kind of gives it a veiny, marbly look, but like I said, if you don't want them, you can go in with the Q-tip and cover them up pretty easily. Now we're on Fired Brick, which is a much darker color. And we'll go with this until we're satisfied with the look. And that's pretty much it. It never comes out quite as good when you're videotaping, but that's pretty similar. You don't see much of the pink, that the base that we started with. You could easily leave that layer off if you don't have that ink pad and get pretty much the same look. I use the really the lightest color to cover the white, just so there's not glaring white showing through for your end piece. Now you could do this with I like 3 colors because it gives a nice layering effect and some different variations in color. You can also do this with just 1 ink pad, which I will show you in another video. Thanks for stopping, and I hope you're enjoying your distress ink. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Happy crafting!